Dear readers of the Astrodeha family, welcome to YouTube Astrodeha. The sky this week will carry the effects of Saturn's energy with Mars, Venus, and the lunar nodes, making us more prone to accidents. We may be more easily provoked in our lives. We may be tested by the consequences of our thoughtless approaches, following the principle of experiencing first and then gaining experience. We can be challenged by the sanctions. The sky warns us to be careful, each of us. Let's be careful to act with the language of love in our interactions and not to exaggerate small things in our relationships. Otherwise, we may escalate solvable issues to unsolvable points by receiving equally or even more intense reactions. And this week, it warns us to be cautious of information thefts, the sky. Especially if your work involves close interaction with technology, increasing security measures related to your data and information bank will be your greatest advantage. And throughout the week, the sky emphasizes the importance of being cautious about potential disruptions related to long travels and journeys. And this week, especially, to heal past wounds and to move our lives to better places. Let's make an effort. Those who say what they want hear what they don't want. This should be our motto this week. And in addition, as we approach the weekend, let's be mindful of who we talk to, where, and about what, especially regarding financial matters. What we discuss might be completely unexpected. It may lead to being tested with challenging events. Throughout the week, avoid testing the patience of patient people and act with mutual understanding by valuing sensitivities. This will protect us from possible regrets and situations that are difficult to remedy us. And this week, we may witness extremely serious events, especially in politics. While there are energies that can make us quickly agitated, staying away from impulsiveness, remaining calm, and not accepting everything as true without investigation will protect each of us from potential mistakes. Otherwise, getting agitated and doing everything in an instant means facing the consequences, as if bringing a lighter to gasoline, and being caught between being surprised or not by the result. Remain calm in the flow and acceptance. Let the heavens be your guide. May your path be clear. Children of Mars, Aries, especially on April 17th, until your ruling planet Mars begins its transit in Leo, you should meticulously focus on uncertainties. You need to concentrate on keeping everything that has gone wrong or out of your control under control, to avoid making the same mistakes and misconceptions where your courage has faltered. My advice to you, as Mercury begins its transit in your sign on the 16th, align with your own truth. Act in harmony. Focus on sincerely intending to resolve problems in your professional life, educational life, and relationships. Rest assured, the improvements you will make by correcting many mistakes and the harmony and reconciliation after disappointments will be powerful enough to mark this week. However, my advice to you, throughout the week, behaving in a controlled manner in all matters, especially financial ones, will make it easier for you to successfully solve many problems with your high awareness, provided you make timely interventions. In matters related to your love life, dramatic events from the past may come back into focus. Is it making you feel insecure, or, on the contrary, are you in a peaceful relationship where you feel secure? The sky wants you to question these things, to be able to make amends for mistakes and not to do yourself an injustice by continuing a finished relationship that does not serve you. If there is trust and love in your relationship and tensions caused by others have strained your relationship, it invites you to learn to say stop to this in a controlled manner. The sky to you. Especially when making decisions about matters of love, whether it is to end or improve your relationship, you should definitely share it with your partner or lover. Before things become clear and you find true peace, you should not announce this to anyone, because malicious people may want to disrupt your peace and bring up the past to escalate tensions. And this week, it is especially important to be controlled in your verbal and written communications. Sharing misunderstandings or things you are not sure about can lead to unexpected and uncontrolled disturbances. And my advice to you, especially regarding financial matters, is if you are having difficulty collecting your receivables, instead of impulsive approaches or trying to resolve things through conversation, it is better to gain information about your legal rights. Consider these as rights within the legal framework, and making your efforts and interventions in this area will lead to much more positive outcomes. May the skies be your guide and may your path be clear. The children of Venus are the Taurus. The sky carries energies this week that could bring opportunities you missed in the past back to you under much better conditions into your lives. My advice to you especially is to correctly evaluate developments related to unfinished business and missed opportunities concerning your work, because the sky has pushed you out of your comfort zone. Now that opportunities are knocking at your door, be open to collaborations in a rational way and make sure you understand everything correctly. At one point, it's time to advance, especially as Mercury brings energies into your lives where your words will be accepted and your value will increase. Please seize the opportunities to turn this into professional successes and gains without delay. If you are looking for a job or considering a job change, the sky supports you throughout the week. However, you should not forget to be extra careful in your written and verbal agreements. Even though the Mercury retrograde has ended, be careful not to engage in sharing information and data that you are not sure is accurate. Regarding your education, especially on the 16th, with Mercury's series in Aries, you have developed yourself in areas of uncertainty and where you have failed. Be ready to reap the rewards of acting in a more concentrated manner. And Mars begins its transit in Leo on the 17th. Review what you experienced in November. What was delayed during that period? Which topics made you happy and peaceful? What issues caused you discomfort? Whether it's related to spiritual, financial, or family dynamics. You should utilize Mars energy to heal and regain the strength you lost. However, this week you might face requests from an ex-spouse or ex-lover to return. Be careful, and dear Taurus, act with the high awareness that you should not try what has already been tried. This week you can make big decisions, clearly reflect your emotions on long-standing issues, effects that you can take and resolve. The planetary transitions in the sky will almost cleanse and strengthen the dead weight, the dead soil over you. Now ask yourself, what things that don't suit me have I tolerated excessively and ignored my desires? Give honest answers to this and choose to be determined in pursuing your desires. Single and unattached Taurians may step into lasting relationships. Those who are married might question their worth. By clearly expressing your expectations to your spouse or partner, you can meet on common ground and enhance the bond of love and romance between you. May the skies be your guide and may your path be illuminated. Children of Mercury, Gemini, especially in the first 2 days of the week, you are faced with energies that heighten your urge to make sharp outbursts and give sharp reactions regarding work-related matters. Be careful, because you might receive even bigger reactions to your responses, and you could be tested with situations where things get complicated suddenly, leading to regret due to not being able to make correct and healthy decisions. The sky warns you to maintain your composure while taking bold steps, advising you not to share everything openly regarding your work and professional matters. Renewing yourself and engaging in educational activities alongside social activities will greatly benefit you in being more successful in your educational and professional life. And this week, especially, let your actions be guided by the awareness of the importance of the universe's message and any disruptions related to your travel plans. Your effort. My advice to you, especially if you need to make a decision, whether it is related to your work, education, or love life, be willing to express yourself in writing rather than verbally. Because in verbal expression, you might make statements and decisions that you will regret later. Especially when dealing with issues related to your family members, act with the awareness that things may not be exactly as they are conveyed to you. And when you take on the role of advocating for others, please do not lose control. To avoid disappointments with the emergence of unwanted situations and truths, and especially as Mars, the representative of war and courage, begins its transit in Leo on the 17th, you should review what you experienced in November 2025. What happened, particularly in matters related to love? Who shook your confidence? Who left you stranded when you were in trouble? Now, with the maturity gained from these experiences, you need to act to make healthier decisions and avoid living with the same mistakes and disappointments. It invites you to do so. While the sky and the sun are in the pleasure of Taurus from the 19th, please review the decisions you have made. Instead of making big decisions regarding your private life, making logical decisions and maintaining sustainability will bring much better results. Please, in matters including those related to your children, focus not on controlling your spouse or loved one, but on acting together, renewing trust, and striving to be happy. If you want to erase the traces of past troubles, start anew and find true peace. Strive to bring the messages of the sky into your lives correctly. And this week it indicates that your sensitivities, especially related to your throat and teeth, are important concerning your health. The sky, be controlled. Children of the moon, Cancers, the sky is in your work and education life. The first 3 days of the week advise you to think everything through thoroughly before making big decisions. And during these 3 days, it will be in your best interest to avoid mediating financial matters and refrain from taking sides or expressing opinions on issues related to the private lives of your friends or close ones. While Mercury is in Aries, from April 16th, you are supported to focus on your long-term goals in your professional life and to dismantle any games being played regarding your reputation. If you are on the verge of making an important decision, is it right or wrong? If you cannot choose, my advice to you is to listen to your inner voice and definitely not to be swayed by dreams promised with hope. Focus on the realistic experiences you have. You should be careful to make decisions based on your actions. Instead of waiting for opportunities to find you, prioritize communication, speak up, take action, and fight for the value you deserve. This will provide you with significant benefits in reaching your goals. As the planet of power and Mars, the planet of war, begins its retrograde in Leo on the 17th, you will feel like you have overcome many obstacles, especially the energy of motivation and excitement that you had lost. In your professional life, love life, and educational matters, you will feel strong again, making it easier for you to make accurate decisions. However, the sky warns you to act carefully around angry, restless, and tense people who could be your relatives, friends, or family members, and to be cautious and attentive not to get involved in the situations they are caught up in while trying to calm them down. In matters related to your love life, if you are in the cycle of rebuilding your relationship, you should not attribute excessive meanings to small details. You should act by ensuring that you understand the other party correctly. By no means do not make decisions on behalf of the other party. Choose to avoid thinking about your experiences in a one-sided manner or being in situations of one-sided sacrifices or prejudiced attitudes. After energies that have drained you while the sky is supporting you, you should now focus on growth. You should choose to see the whole picture. For you, friendship relationships, love life, and while the restructuring cycle of your work life is in question, move away from hesitation. Trust yourself. What have you been able to carry in your life so far? What has been burdensome for you and what have you left behind? While the sky gives the message that you need to think and weigh these thoroughly, be controlled. And regarding your health, especially if you have chronic health problems, be aware that you are more prone to upper respiratory tract infections. Treat your health, your soul, and your body with kindness. May the heavens be your guide, and may your path be illuminated. If you, the children of the Sun, Leos, feel that your perspective has transformed after the vicious cycles you've experienced and you find yourself surprised, stay in this state of flow and acceptance. You have awakened after the mental chaos and confusion caused by the uncertainties you experience. And the universe invites your sky to think bigger and to believe that you can do more than what you have imagined. Whether they are unconscious limitations you have imposed on yourself or energies you have been subjected to and imposed upon, you are freeing yourself from all of them and healing. You are realizing the true you by bringing your best version to every point of the stage of life. As Mercury moves into Aries from the 16th, you are regaining what you have lost financially in your work life, and your star is shining. Be prepared, and especially when evaluating job interviews, collaborations, and partnership-related projects, be honest with yourself and choose your companions wisely as you move forward. Stable energies will also be with you throughout the week in financial matters. And of course, on the 17th, Mars, the representative of war and courage, begins its journey again in your sign. November. In 2024, it triggered a significant fiery transformation in your perspective on life. Now, you have the chance to take back time. Since that's not possible, Mars will empower you. Many things that previously held you back are no longer obstacles. This is within these open paths. In your work, in your educational life, and in your personal life, you should make clear decisions and move forward. And don't forget that the universe is supporting and watching you. As the Sun begins its transit in Taurus on April 19th, embrace the deep stability, emotion, love, passion, and the beauty that comes from mutual appreciation in your love life. Consider what is lacking physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and what you have not been able to truly reflect, and strive to complete these. Especially with positive energies on your side throughout the week regarding family matters, your relationships with your children and close ones will strengthen. However, the sky indicates that digestive issues related to fatigue may challenge you throughout the week. You should pay extra attention to what you eat and drink. If you are in an unhealthy eating process, you should improve by taking care of yourself with the treatment of a specialist. Try to avoid making sharp decisions regarding financial matters as you approach the weekend if possible. Helping others without being able to say no should not lead to difficulties for you in the coming days. May the skies be your guide and may your path be illuminated. Children of Mercury, Virgos, the sky emphasizes the importance of evaluating the opportunities the universe offers you this week instead of conflicting with yourself to distance yourself from emotional exhaustion. Especially this week, meaningful coincidences will enable you to find the power within yourself to guide your work and educational life in the right direction. Starting from the 16th, As Mercury begins its journey in Aries, you will feel mentally confident, be more peaceful, and successfully complete many things you previously found difficult to concentrate on. And your subconscious fears, especially the anxieties you experience within yourself and situations stemming from past negativities, will begin to heal from the middle of the week. On April 17th, as Mars, the representative of war, Itinan, and courage, embarks on its journey in Leo, it will confront you with the things you've been ignoring. Facing the truth is not about fear, but about moving forward. Are you ready to move forward now? Are you ready to see the truth? This courage, along with your intellect, will bring you great opportunities. It will be the key to the freedom that comes after the internal struggles you've experienced. Especially if you are looking for a job or want to make a change in your work. Acting entrepreneurial from Wednesday until the weekend, with support from true friends, will make it possible to achieve stability and make lasting beginnings. If you are struggling with issues related to your education and can't find solutions, don't hesitate to ask for support or guidance from experts, your teachers, or your family. And as the Sun begins its journey in Taurus on April 19th, it will especially support you in stepping back, to notice the shortcomings in your professional and personal life, and to act with confidence knowing that these shortcomings can be addressed. If you are married and have children, the bond between you will strengthen, and it will be possible to overcome problems caused by others and to eliminate issues through the power of communication. However, if you are in a relationship with constant ups and downs, breaking up and making up, you may choose to end things this week due to the reflections of Saturn and the Lunar Nodes. In relationships where there is love, respect, and mutual sacrifice, energies that will elevate and bring success are dominant, while you will demonstrate the determination to distance yourself from the fatigue of one-sided sacrifices. Regarding matters related to your health, the sky warns you to pay attention to sensitivities concerning your eye health throughout the week. May the heavens be your guide and may your path be illuminated. Children of Venus, Libras. In the first 2 days of the week, you may encounter unexpected developments regarding your relationships. You might find yourself surprised by the returns and insistences of past ended relationships. Yourself, contracts, agreements, commitments will come up as energies you will reevaluate throughout the week. However, be careful to make healthy decisions and act without being deceived as in the past, by considering whether the promises made to you in the past have been fulfilled. The more honest you are with yourself and your surroundings this week, the more you will protect yourself from decisions and events that you might regret later. In matters related to your work life, being as social and entrepreneurial as possible this week will make it easier for you to overcome many challenges. However, you may feel tense and anxious. With your tense and anxious demeanor, you may experience problems in your work life, educational life, and relationships with friends. My advice to you is to pray and meditate to remove anger from your soul, and being as soon as possible, take off your shoes and stand on the ground. Walk barefoot on the ground, but choose to demonstrate your resilience to the fullest to cleanse yourself from the destructive effects that this energy may bring. In addition, especially as Mars begins its transit in Leo starting from April 17th, think about what you experienced in your personal life in November, and now you should act with the awareness that everything is progressing as it should. You should evaluate things realistically, not as you wish to believe them to be. On April 19th, the Sun will begin its transit in Taurus. You will move away from the anxious energies you have experienced regarding financial matters, relationships, and security-related issues. However, my advice to you is not to avoid difficult conversations. Difficult conversations can be effective in matters related to family, your life, and your love life. Afterwards, engage in conversations that can develop and improve to avoid the regret of wrong decisions. And act with the awareness that if you remain stuck in the past, you will not be able to appreciate your current relationship or future beauties. The sky warns you this week to heal your mind for a future vision, to act with patience instead of impatience, and to make decisions with the awareness of what the consequences might be by thinking carefully first. My advice to you is to distance yourself from illusions, as there are influences that will complete you with reality. In financial matters, not short term. When you focus on the long term, you will make correct and accurate decisions, and you will protect yourself from possible regrets and losses. May the sky be your guide, and may your path be clear. Children of Mars, Scorpios, the sky heralds that you will progress this week without difficulty in fulfilling your responsibilities. Be prepared to receive financial rewards for successfully fulfilling your responsibilities in your work and educational life. And this week especially, choose to take advantage of the strong energies of the first 3 days of the week to make meaningful conversations and express yourself regarding expectations and demands. As Mercury begins its transit in Aries on April 16th, it will support your motivation to properly assess opportunities to achieve your long-term goals. If you are looking for a job, you might find one, and you could be pleased if the promotion or raise you have been expecting at work happens without your request throughout the week. However, this week, regarding moving, some setbacks or better opportunities might lead you to better positions than the decisions you have made. Choose to be not rushed, but to remain in the flow and be in control. And of course, on April 17th, Mars will begin its transit in Leo. Especially when Mars is in Leo, significant developments regarding your earnings and inheritance may come to the forefront. And it's important to be aware that the universe is not in a hurry, and that you should not be in a hurry either. Especially my advice to you: act as an observer without falling under the influence of people who panic about these developments and try to lead you into panic as well. And as the sun begins its transit in Taurus, the opposite sign, from April 19th, close relationships, stability, loyalty, and a deeper understanding will start to become active in your life. If you are married or in an ongoing relationship, be prepared for your relationship to strengthen further and for issues to be resolved with the sun's transit in Taurus. However, regarding health matters, the sky warns you to pay attention to muscle aches and sensitivities in the lower back area. Especially my advice to you. With the reflection of the lunar nodes, some relationships may seek a second chance. Do not hesitate to give this chance to yourself and to the person you love. Single Scorpios without a relationship may find opportunities to come together with someone they have been interested in for a long time. You should be entrepreneurial. You must strive for your goals and happiness without waiting for things to fall into your lap. However, this week, if there are commercial ties between you and your siblings, the sky warns you to be controlled and careful. If you don't want to experience unwanted things or suffer due to vulnerabilities being exposed, being controlling would be our greatest distinction. May the heavens be your guide, and may your path be illuminated. Children of Jupiter, Sagittarians, the energies emphasize that you should reflect your creative side of the sky in every aspect of your life throughout the week. Especially in the first 2 days of the week, events and truths related to the things that make you pessimistic and sad will emerge as the week progresses. It could be an opportunity for you not to upset yourself unnecessarily and to see the beauties that this process will bring to you. And on the 16th, the planet of communication. While Mercury is in its leisurely journey through Aries, whether it's romance or a project related to your work, it will present you with the beauties and rewards of being able to make the right decisions by noticing many details with your analytical intelligence. Throughout the week, the events and activities you participate in related to your work and education life may lead to exciting and highly rewarding connections. And on the 17th, while Mars, the representative of war and courage, is in its course in Leo, do not ignore what you experienced, especially in November. Consider what the positives and negatives of what you've experienced from that day until now have brought you and what they have cost you. Instead of being upset about your losses, increase your gains. It invites you to set new goals to increase them. If the sky is influencing you regarding health matters, you should be mindful of your hygiene throughout the week as you are more prone to urinary tract infections. In this regard, if you have any discomforts, you should not ignore them and should proceed with treatment from a specialist doctor. And as the sun begins its journey in Taurus on April 19th, start reaping the rewards of your patience, especially in matters related to your love life. Endings and strong beginnings await you. For those experiencing problems in their marriage, the truths that emerge will encourage you to make decisions. You may also witness the regret of the other party over decisions made under pressure. My advice to you, throughout the week, focus on your nutrition, your health, and the adjustments needed for changes in your work life. Because as the sky moves you to a stable position, the stronger your awareness, the more accurate decisions you will make to improve your life. My advice to you is especially related to work. Schedule your requests, demands, important meetings and discussions on Thursday, the day of Jupiter, and Friday, the day of Venus. It is possible to achieve the results you want under much better conditions. Stay in the flow and acceptance. May the heavens be your guide and may your path be illuminated. Children of Saturn, Capricorns, the sky and planetary transits. This week will allow you to focus on your roots, foundation, health, and spiritual stability. On April 16th, as Mercury begins its journey in Aries, it will empower you to understand the importance of what you can do to move forward and what you have neglected regarding your physical and mental health before it's too late, allowing you to establish a more cautious and healthier life principle for yourself. Especially if the emotions you have suppressed have tired you out as pains and discomforts in your body, be ready to transform these energies. And on April 17th, as Mars begins its journey in Leo, power struggles and financial and emotional confusion may emerge. Review what you experienced in November 2024. While you have the chance to regain the power you lost and move forward with confidence, this time the tolerance you showed to others. Now is the time to assert yourself, especially in your professional life. You may experience significant developments related to joint projects and deadlines, and you might find financial improvements with unexpected gains. While the universe supports you and provides the answers you seek, choose to be among those who listen and reflect what they hear in their lives. Positive news regarding your health may arrive towards the weekend, especially as the sun begins its journey in Taurus from April 19th. Know that you are protected in matters related to your personal life. A series of confrontations, tensions at the moment you need the addition of new excuses by your spouse or partner to their never-ending list will be enough to lift the veil from your eyes regarding them. To make the right decisions, to no longer allow your life to be stolen. Now it's in your will. Capricorns who are in happy and loving relationships, married or in ongoing partnerships, be extra cautious of jealous friendships this week. And especially Do not hold yourself back from meeting with your true friends and consulting with them. My advice to you, especially whether it's your work, love life, or education, when you act realistically and courageously, you will realize how many great opportunities are right beside you. You should not allow anyone to make you feel bad. You should know how to stop someone from reflecting their scattered energy onto you and lowering your energy, blocking you. You are valuable. It invites you to move forward with the awareness of your own value and understanding. The sky is inviting you. The heavens be your guide, and may your path be lit. The children of Uranus, the Aquarians, the sky warns you to be cautious of communication mishaps this week. Especially in the first 2 days of the week, speaking your mind without hesitation can trigger unexpected tensions in your work life and cause prejudices to make you a target due to the spread of incorrect information from person to person. Be very careful. As Mercury begins its journey in Aries from the 16th, you should make an effort to address and clarify uncertainties, especially in your work life. Let everything happen without effort. If you evaluate things with a let whatever happens happen attitude, it could be undesirable. You might be tested by events and feel upset. Be careful and controlled. And this week, due to your work, make an effort to balance the energy in your work life with your personal life to leave a good impression in meetings and discussions. Your effort, balance is key. When you act balanced, it is possible to keep even things that could develop against you under control and eliminate them. And on the 17th, the representative of war and courage, Mars, outside, begins its transit again in your opposite sign, Leo, especially since November 2024. You should be ready to receive positive feedback and see the completion of what was unfinished in matters related to your work and education life, where you have put in effort and struggled. You should trust yourself, act with patience, and choose to proceed without losing awareness of how impatience has caused you great harm in the past. This week, you should be cautious about household accidents and be careful not to take on too much responsibility in matters concerning your family members. And as Mars, the representative of courage and war, transits through Leo on April 17th, avoid ego battles. Because ego battles can escalate tensions both in your professional and personal life. As the Sun begins its transit in Taurus on April 19th, being able to act with honesty in matters related to your relationships will protect you from potential gossip and the negativity brought by tense influences. My advice to you: throughout the week, prioritize communication with your spouse or partner. While addressing doubts, avoid acting based on assumptions. Regret. Let it not lead to events that will later trouble your conscience. For any of you, this week, for single and unattached Aquarians, even if the person you are interested in is right in front of you, choose to avoid rushing into a relationship or making them the center of your life. May the heavens be your guide, and may your path be illuminated. The mystical children of Neptune. Pisces, the sky, warns you to avoid arguments with your managers in your work life, especially during the first 2 days of the week. You cannot achieve what you want by displaying dominant attitudes over people who think differently from you. You should keep your ideas to yourself and focus on staying away from any situation that might create arguments, especially with your managers. You should focus. As Mercury begins its journey in Aries on April 16th, uncertainties regarding money, work, and personal resources will start to become clearer. Being more controlled, compensating for mistakes, and acting by considering what you will gain and lose before making financial decisions will be extremely beneficial. And on the 17th, the representative of war and courage, As Mars begins its journey in Leo, you should pay attention to all kinds of positive and negative changes regarding your daily tasks and your physical and mental health. Especially my advice to you is, if you experience issues in this regard in November 2024, the sky warns you to act cautiously without letting your guard down. Regarding matters related to your education, be careful not to rush while trying to convey what you have learned throughout the week. And act with the awareness that hasty approaches can lead you into more difficult situations due to misunderstandings. As the Sun begins its journey in Taurus on April 19th, an opportunity related to your personal life and a cycle of peace welcomes you. Energies are at play where you will move away from disappointments and deeply feel through your experiences how much you are actually heard and loved, even when you think you are not being heard. However, despite the frictions, the sky suggests that you should also question the lessons learned from the tensions in your relationship and how external influences have shaken your relationship and in what areas. It wants you to observe that both parties are overlooking certain things and to be more careful and sensitive. Otherwise, you will condemn your own happiness and path to constant ups and downs under the influence of others. I believe you have learned from your experiences that you should not do this. The universe supports you in questioning these, realizing them, and moving forward. And towards the weekend, there may be disagreements and arguments, especially with siblings, regarding matters related to the elders in your family. Stay true to your beliefs, but avoid getting into my truth versus your truth debates with anyone throughout the week on this or other matters. Significant disagreements or differences in opinion may occur. Try not to experience this, children. Let the skies be your guide, and may your path be clear.